So after I dropped the last video, somebody hit me with the classic line, man, this all sounds pretty cool in theory. And I get it. Blockchain, tokenized real estate, fractional ownership, it can all sound like startup pitch lingo, unless you've actually seen it in practice. But here's what folks really need to know. This isn't theory. It's happening right now. And not just on some sketchy crypto exchanges or in the metaverse. Real world companies, the kind you've heard of, are already using tokenization to move serious money and modernize how we interact with assets. And if we're being completely authentic about this, the whole shift shouldn't be really surprising to us. We've watched money evolve right in front of us. We used to carry paper cash everywhere. Then came debit and credit cards. Then that turned into tapping your phone, your watch, or just hovering your wrist over a terminal like some sci-fi scene at a grocery store. We barely even think about it now. What we're seeing with tokenization is just the next version of that same evolution. Except now, it's not just how we spend money, it's how we own things. Real estate, stocks, funds, even fine art. This is how assets are going digital. And the systems behind it are being modernized in the same way our wallets were. It's not magic. It's just the natural progression of how we interact with value. Let's start at the top. JPMorgan, one of the biggest banks in the world, launched its blockchain platform Onyx back in late 2020. Since then, they've quietly processed over $300 billion in tokenized repo trades. Not future trades, they're already done. And then in 2023, they took it further and launched something called the Tokenized Collateral Network, where they successfully used tokenized US Treasuries in a deal between BlackRock and Barclays. This wasn't a demo. This was live capital moving between institutions using blockchain. Goldman Sachs, same play. In 2023, they launched their own digital asset platform called GSDAP, or GSDAP, however you want to say it, and used it to issue fully tokenized bonds for the European Investment Bank and later for the Hong Kong government. We're talking about government bonds being minted and tracked on-chain. Settlement is faster, access is wider, and the whole process is built around automation. And what do I preach here? Transparency. It's not just banks either. Franklin Templeton, one of the biggest names in asset management, released a fund back in 2021 called the Franklin On-Chain U.S. Government Money Fund. It was the first mutual fund registered in the U.S. to process transactions and ownership records directly on public blockchains. Fast forward to 2025. Here we are. And they've expanded that fund to operate across Ethereum, one of my favorites, Solana, and Avalanche. It's open, auditable, and built for global participation. And then you've got BlackRock, who doesn't even move unless there's billions on the table. In 2024, they launched a fund called BUIDL. It lets qualified investors earn yield in dollars, backed by real-world assets. And they've already ported it into multiple other chains, including Polygon, Aptos, and Arbitrum. It's fast, flexible, and fully digital. Now let's bring it back to real estate. Securitize is out here turning actual buildings and investment funds into on-chain assets. Since 2021, they've been helping people invest in tokenized shares of private companies and real estate deals. And just last year, they partnered with Mantle to launch a $400 million tokenized index fund. This isn't crypto fantasy. This is a registered firm issuing securities that run on blockchain rails. And if you're wondering how all of these players connect behind the scenes, enter the Canton Network, launched in 2023. It's like the backstage pass to the new financial system. Companies like Goldman Sachs, Deloitte, Microsoft, Moody's, and Paxos came together to build this interoperable blockchain for financial institutions. It lets them share data, move assets, and settle trades across different systems while still following all the rules that regulators require. It's private, permissioned, and built to scale. So yeah, I hear this sounds exciting in theory crowd, but the receipts are already out there. Tokenization isn't something that we might see in the next 5 years. It's already reshaping how institutions operate, how assets get moved, and how money works across borders. So yeah, I've been on this tokenization wave lately, but that's just where my curiosity's been landing. I talk about a lot of things on my social media. Whatever grabs me, whatever feels like it needs a voice or a perspective, I dig in. Sometimes it's global economics. Sometimes it's tech. Sometimes it's just a story I think deserves to be told. So everybody tuning in, leaving comments, and just letting me use this space to process ideas and share what I'm learning, I really appreciate it. This channel is where I work things out in real time, and it means a lot to me that people are open to that.